Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel at things I look at and talk about. Uh, well, it's Thursday morning, about 9 o'clock morning Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, as anybody knows in the news, we here in the tropics, especially if you're a Floridian, and especially if you're on the West Coast, which we are, uh, we got some serious weather sitting out in the Gulf of Mexico, not far off our shores here. Yeah, Hurricane Helene. I'm going to assume that's how it's pronounced, Helene. Yeah, that old girl, she turned into a disorganized mass of storms into a kind of an overnight monster. She's already Category 2, and as she heads on up the Gulf, she's supposed to turn into a 4, and some people are even saying she may be brushing possibly being a 5. It may do kind of like what it did that one hurricane that was down near the Yucatan, going across, went from a tropical storm to Category 5 like in a matter of a half a day. Surprised everybody, caused a lot of damage, and yeah, unfortunately we're going to be looking at the same thing, and our our prayers are out to everybody who's in the direct line of that beast, because she's going to be taking a lot of surge, which is the water that gets pushed in front of the hurricane. You can ask anybody down in the Fort Myers area about that surge stuff. It comes in with that storm, goes back out after the storm, but when it comes in, it'll take water right to the top of phone poles, and it's extremely dangerous if you're trying to hold out that kind of weather. Look at my feet. Yeah, I got my weather covers on, because already just from overnight, the storm lines going through, we've already taken in a lot of water, and Florida's already kind of sitting like a sponge, because we already have had a lot of rain. We already had that previous storm system that was a tropical storm go through and soak us down. We never really have gotten that water dried up. We have stayed fairly wet since, and unfortunately that's what we're looking at. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna kid you, it's we got some weather coming. This is like I said, that thing's still way down south, just probably even, still pretty much even with the Keys of Florida in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's already looking like this. And I'll pan this up to the sky where you can kind of look up and see how grim looking it looks. This is 9 o'clock in the morning. Normally it's bright and bright and perky looking out, and you can hear the frogs are liking this weather, but anytime it gets wet like this, is what they do. And a lot of them frogs you're hearing are the ones I've been raising from tadpoles in one of my rain barrels to help eat the mosquitoes, and they're telling you, yeah, they're out and about because of this weather. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be seeing a lot more water on the ground besides this. This is just a few rain bands going through overnight coming off the end, but we're going to have the storm bands going through during the day. And then unfortunately, she's going to be about even out where we're at during the night hours. So boy, but yeah, I'm keeping my hopes that people stay safe, because that's the biggie. It can be a lot of damage, but damage can be repaired. People can't. You get too much. You get under a tree, or get your car in a drainage ditch you didn't know was there. We're trying to drive past, and that's the problem when you're in your vehicles and driving. Everything looks the same. Water goes up over the top of a what do you call it? Drainage pit, drainage ponds. A lot of them around these house developments now. It'll be even with the water in the road. You'll be thinking you're on the road and you're driving right into one of those drainage canals or drainage ponds, and you'll go right underwater. And unfortunately, the way a lot of these cars work now, they're not, like our old work truck. It's a 97 diesel, and she still has her manual window cranks and manual door locks. In other words, if for some reason this big girl were to go underwater, you pop them door locks open and get these windows down easy because they got crank windows. But a lot of these fancy electronic cars now, their electric system shorts out from going into the water. You may not even be able to get your doors unlocked. That's the danger. There's so much danger involved with trying to drive around when this weather gets bad. This right here, I can't guarantee the transformer car that I showed you in a previous video. It's very, very electronic too. It does have electronic door locks, and electric windows and all that. And I can't guarantee what would happen. In other words, doors, all you do is push that in to lock the doors. It's all, everything's computer running this thing. Now, I will tell you what I do. I recommend this to anybody. If you're in a car, you need something like this. Right here. Excuse my floors for being dirty. That's what you get for transporting a wolf dog around. That right there. Let me take that up so you can look at it. See if you can get a good look at that. You see what that thing is? This end is called a seatbelt cutter. It's got safety thing around it, but that'll cut your seatbelt loose if for some reason your seatbelt gets trapped. That right there, you see them two ends? Yeah, that's the business end. Those are right there, and this is weighted. The end is light where I'm holding it. This end is weights made into it. Very, very heavy. That right there, either end of that, you can see that real good. I mean, get a good close-up. There you go. Those right there, that's made to try to get you out of harm's way. That right there is a window breaker. It even comes in a little thing that even if you get in a crash with the car, it'll stay in there until you pull it out. Excuse me, I just had my coffee and I'm froggy throat. That right there could save your life, because that little sharpened edge has a coating of some kind of diamond coat or something over those tips of those, and that thing will bust. I don't care about that glass. It'll bust that side window right out. And let me clue you, it'd be the difference between you sitting in an aquarium underwater and you swimming the top and getting to safety and living to see another day. So that's, you gotta keep that in mind. I already got some debris blowing around because we got winds blowing everywhere. Anyway, I was hoping to make this video showing you something I just bought a couple days ago. Been saving up. They're covered up now, so I can't really show them to you. I'll show them in a future video. That right there is a bush hog. You can kind of see the tires to it. It's covered up because of the weather. I know it's made for it's made to be grass, but I'm trying to doll it up and grease it up and everything. But yeah, that's a bush hog that has a little inflatable 4 wheels on it and adjustable. It goes to a 3-point hitch because this old fella bought himself a tractor. My first tractor I've ever owned. Look at that thing. Oh yeah, here comes some rain. Yeah, it's a beast. It's covered up because I've got her weathered in for the storm coming. You can see my ropes on it. I got her weathered in. There's a 3-point hitch on the back of it. You can see it sticking out. There's 2 of the 3. There's a center bar hooks up here. That's the 3 points. 1, 2, and a center point. And these have an electric control that raises it up and down when you have whatever farm implement you got hooked to the back of it. You can raise it up off the ground, lower it down to whatever height you're wanting to do what you're doing there. But yeah, she's pretty big. I'm telling you, these are 15-inch wheels. It's a Massey Ferguson. Excuse me again. I'm sorry. Massey Ferguson 1225 1225, and 3-cylinder diesel. She's a diesel tractor. She's a real deal. She's a tractor, real enough tractor. She even got a roll bar on it. Look at this. Look. You got a big old roll bar on it. How do you like that? Huh? And lights. headlights, flasher lights on the Max. It's the real deal. This is a tractor. 3-cylinder, has glow plugs to crank it up, runs great. It's a 2002 model, okay? I got it for a really good deal. Really good deal. Runs great. Been kept under a covered thing until now. That's why I covered it up, because I felt bad. I don't have my awning up yet. I've got the parts to it. I got to build it that I can park this under. But they had it under an awning for a long time, parking it like that. But funny part is just the front tires are about as big as ones on that Fiat over there. That's just the front tires. That gives you an idea how much, look how big them back tires are to it. She's a big girl. Look at that thing. Look, I have to step way back here for you to see a picture. Look how big she is. Basically, it's as big as my Fiat. And then that bush hog there hooks to that 3-point hitch in the back. And like I said, when things are better, I'll have it cranked up and I'll do a video showing you this thing, because I'm very proud of this. It's the first tractor I've ever owned, and yet I'm an old man. Look at the white age spots on my hand. I'm an older, not old man. I'm not like Father Time. I'm not that old yet, but older person. We'll leave it at that. You're only as old as you feel, right? But first tractor I've ever owned. I'm very proud of finally having one. Got a really good, like I said, bush hog attachment goes on the back of that beast. Very proud of it. And I got a rebuild kit, carburetor, spark plug, other stuff. As you can see, there's some, I don't know if you saw it a little bit. These are pretty much just parts mowers that I've collected. These have been left, and as you know, it's also told in my previous videos, I do rental cleanup, which includes the yards, sheds that are in the yards, you name it. I have to clean that stuff up. Well, these are old abandoned junk mowers that have had stuff done, parts pulled off of them, because anybody, if you know anybody that does rental cleanup, if somebody who rents the place has a mower break down or break or blow up, they'll leave it. So I bring them home. And as you can see, this one I didn't take the wheels off, but it was left like, and we broke off. So I'll part them out as much as I can. Some of these motors got bad rings in them, froze up, whatever. This right here I got plans on. This is an old chop mower. You can see it's got the pulley drive on it, motor mounts there. You can tell it's an old girl, but she's the kind, this is what you keep hands on. Find yourself a motor out of something that can be rebuilt, that's got kind of beefy. You want one that's got a little bit of horsepower. You mount it on that, and it's a pulley drive to that. There is a blade under there. That blade under there. And there's scant little that thing can't cut. That's a beast. Anyway, I've got a carb kit coming for another, and that mower's put up. It looks like a weed trimmer on the front. It's kind of built like this with the pulley system. But underneath it, instead of a blade, it has where you put trimmer line on it. Not ordinary trimmer line. I mean stuff that's half as thick as my pinky. One on either side of that thing. You got to strap it in there and lock them in. Now when that beast is going, because it's got a bad carburetor, so I ordered a carb kit off of Amazonian. But when that thing comes, that thing is also, you push that other thing that's, like I said, it's like this one but made for weeds. You push that thing into weeds, it don't care. It's a little dangerous to operate. You got to make sure you got goggles on. Make sure, in fact, I got some on my hat right now. Look at that. When you have a farm and you're on a farm, you have a tendency to keep these pretty close, because things you work on or work with, take my word for it. I know a few one-eyed people that wish they'd had them goggles on, because all it takes is a really good hit on the center of your eye, on your retina, and it'll actually kill your eyeball. As creepy as that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, don't it? It'll kill your eyeball, and I don't need to tell you what it does for the vision in that eyeball it killed. So yeah, but like I said, I've walked around, made sure everything's tied down, because yeah, we're going to get some squall lines, and that's that key word, squall line. and squall lines go through, that's when things get kind of very, very icky. One of the cleanup I just did, brought home a bunch of these nice little edger blocks. See how heavy them things are? And there's still a small pile of them at the place I'm cleaning up. They were buried in the dirt real bad. You can see these are buried in the dirt. See how dirty they look? But you'd be amazed what these can do when you're a person with a farm and with a garden. These right here are awesome. I got some other, let me walk over here real quick. Like I said, I'm kind of dodging. This right here, this thing was in the yard. The landlord told me, get that out of that yard. Look at that thing. That's a pressure treated 4x4 pole. Look how long that thing is. Look at that. Look, at the other end, concrete. It was a devil to get out of the ground. I'm not going to kid you. But here it is. And when you got a farm, they left this here. This is an outdoor storage container. It was just sitting out there too. I brought it home because it was perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's got a lid. It's actually a reinforced plastic lid. You can sit on that thing, which is neat. I'll put that to good use. Look at some of these stones that were left over there. The landlord said he didn't want no stones left on the property. He wants it clean and grass again. Yeah, look at this stuff. They had mineral. That's a mineral rock. You see that? Look how pretty that is. They had these pretty slate stones. That's a giant mineral rock over there. Look how big that thing is. Look, I'm going to lift that up. Look at that. That's a big chunk of mineral right there. Isn't that neat? I'm going to try to sand that thing down and get it polished up and put it in my garden. And yeah, I mean, like I said, my favorite saying is recycle, reuse, because in this economy we got right now, there ain't nothing to brag on. And if you're a person who thinks you're going to buy everything new from Lowe's, I hope you got deep pockets. Because, yeah, deep pockets. Because Lowe's isn't a very good place. I just went there and had to buy some bunch of little things to help clean up the rental and repair a few things around it. I didn't have but half a basket of stuff, because their basket, they got grocery looking baskets there. Half a basket. It was $230 out of my pocket. Now, of course, you know, the landlord fellow reimburses me, but I try to shop as cheap as I can for the landlord, getting stuff that I have to get to fix his places. But I hand him those receipts, and he just looks at it, and he's like, and I just tell him, I say, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I said, scant handful of years ago, probably a single hand of years ago, that stuff would have been, yeah, $108 or something to that degree, because I got visual memory and I can remember numbers real good, and I know what I used to pay for certain things. And yeah, this right here is the trailer we brought the tractor home on. This is really a they call it a lawn trailer, kind of like a lawn service would use this, because it's got the drop gate. There's a drop gate on it. And thank goodness well, for one thing, we took that bush hog off and we put it on the nose of that trailer and propped it up there. I got big tie down straps, real crank straps, which you don't want to never tie something down with just little nylon rope or bungee cords. It'll get you killed, or junk whatever you thought you were going to haul. But I ratchet strapped this thing. It was propped up on there like that, ratchet strapped it down, and the tractor fit very nicely right to the back where the gate was able to shut. I strapped the tractor down. It's got very, very multi-ply heavy trailer tires on it, not light duty, they're not camper tires like these things. Those are made for equipment, so didn't have a problem bringing that home. But when I was pulling that old truck right there, okay, you see it, that's a 1-ton truck. It has 1 ton suspension, even though it's a single rear wheel. 1 ton. It's a F350 is what it is. I was thinking, I'm driving, I'm like, boy, this thing feels awfully heavy. That tractor feels, I mean, believe me, this ain't light. This thing was like 420 pounds or something like that. Now, you don't want it going over your toe. I don't know how much that thing weighs, but yeah, she's not, probably somewhere around 1,800 pound easy, maybe even more. What I didn't know And what the person who owned it didn't know till I went to put these tires to the proper pressure, and this is a farmer trick, so you're getting it from me, but it's a farmer trick. You can look it up on your Google search. Them tires have been filled 75% full of water. And you're like, huh? Yeah, you can get a adapter nozzle for your water hose. You can fill those nozzles. You can take the tip out. I mean, you can take the valve out. That little center thing in there. There's a little, you can take that out. These are 75% full of water. I didn't even realize it till started putting air in them and a bunch of water spurted out. And I'm like, what's going on there? So I thought maybe somehow water got, I mean, they looked like they were full. The problem with them, all of them, because the person who owned it was just using it as they were using it as a field mower. That was it. I'm going to be using this thing as a tractor, not a field mower. Anyway, what they didn't know is they had no air in them. There was no air in these tires. They were up and round, but they were a little squished looking because all that was in them was water. Back, them big old back, look how big that tire is. Look at my hand compared to that tire. You see that? Yeah. Look how big that tire is. 75% water in there, same with the fronts. Now you're supposed to top them off to their right pressure, which is 22 in the front, 26 in the back. So I brought them up to pressure, but there was the deal with me going, why is it so heavy on that trailer? Because you can only imagine if you took this wheel off how much that tire weighs, 75% full of water, steel rim, and this is a multi ply, which means a bunch of thicknesses of rubber. You can only imagine how much that thing weighs. And there's 4 of them in that scenario right there. So yeah, trying to keep this thing covered up. This is an old, what do you call it? Roof off of a. This is a roof off of a. Had a couple of tears in it, and never get rid of these things. Even they get where you got to change out. What am I trying to say? Not tent thing, but you know what I'm talking about, like a canopy. That's it, canopy roof thing, like you take to the beach or take to the park or take camping. Don't get rid of the old one just because it gets kind of frazzled and gets a few tears in it. Because that thing, look how big that is. I'll be able to drape it down over the PTO, because this does have both a mid PTO and a rear PTO. That's how big a tractor this is. I was able to drape that all the way over all that, all the way, drape down around the tires and stuff. I'm trying to keep, like I said, I'm trying to keep this from getting blowed off. I know a tractor's made to be in the weather and stuff, but I'm just trying to keep it like it was. It was kept under an awning, and I'm trying to keep it the same way. And you can see how far down that tarp goes. Look at that. Isn't that neat? And there's part of the 3-point hitch, and actually under there's the PTO. You can see it. Look. There's the PTO right there. Right. There's the connection for the PTO right there. So, like I said, it's all made to, it is equipment. It's made to take, you know, dirt, dust, water, but you try to not let it get too bad if you can help it. I'm trying to keep the seat nice. The seat looks like brand new. They must have replaced the seat. I mean, it's 2002, but maybe it being kept under an awning, but that seat's like brand new, and I want to keep it like that. Real neat tractor. The side skirts on the motor, on that 3-cylinder diesel, both come off. The front nose comes off. It's got a brand new battery in it from the person who owned it. And like I said, you hit that button that is the starter button, and the glow plug relay button is on this side. Press that. The glow plugs heat up that 3-cylinder diesel. Hit that starter button. This thing cranks right up. Sounds like a little. I mean, it sounds like what you imagine a little diesel tractor is supposed to sound like. So anyway, I'm gonna looking at the timer on this thing. I don't like to chat your heads off, and I'm not gonna kid you. It's like I said, it's just around 9 in the morning now. That old storm gonna be about even where we live. Not till the later afternoon hours. So I think weather's gonna deteriorate pretty rapidly around there. So I'm gonna continue to walk the farm and make sure things are. And of course, I was in the middle of moving some fences. I'll walk you over here. I was in the middle of moving some fences. There's one of the pieces I was moving. That's the vinyl fence. But you can see I got other fence pieces moved around. Got a ladder up because I was going, in the middle of doing all this stuff. And then Mother Nature said, hey, I'm going to throw a curveball at you in the middle of you trying to do stuff. You think you're busy, and I'm going to make you busier. I'm going to make you a little more busy. Yeah, like I said, you can see my fence lines and stuff, and I've been coming through here. And part of what I'm doing is also getting where I can get that tractor to go on out back and start getting some things done in the backfields out there. So anyway, people, if you're in the storm zone, please be careful, be safe. Use your head, use your common sense. Don't do something silly that's going to get you hurt or a family member hurt or worse. And outside of the storm zone, just keep yourself safe and hug somebody. And yeah, so anyway, like I said, we'll have more on this stuff when you can see it properly. More on that when it's actually running, because it's neater than a shoe duck. That's all I got to say. She's neat. First tractor I've ever owned. I'm so tickled about it. You can hear it in my voice. I'm tickled about owning a tractor finally. Saved up. Person told them I saved, and they wanted quite a bit more than what I had. And the bush hog thing here got a couple of bolts broke off of it. Somebody went to sharpen the blades and didn't realize. This is something for you to know online, people. You got a piece of farm equipment like that, those blades are bolted on with what they call reverse thread bolts. That means instead of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey for your typical bolt screwing down or being removed, they're the opposite. Left is tight, right is loose. And there's 3 blades, and the old boy was trying to take them off by tightening them, and he snapped the heads off. Third one, he finally figured it out. So I got to get this thing flipped up on its side, get them broke bolts out and replace them. Not a big deal, but that person said, you know what, instead of me paying a mechanic to do that, I'll give you the difference off the price of that tractor and that. They came way down on their price. And yeah, they really did me a favor, because I don't mind working on stuff like that. Because I work on stuff like that, and I'll be talking about that beast in the future too. That old 73 Nova. All that'll be a future video too. Looks terrible now, but she's in really good condition inside, like brand new. And that's another future video talking about that. So anyway, y'all take care of yourselves, hug a loved one, stay safe, use your heads, and we'll talk to you next time.